All right. So on 23, you're matching these equations on the right with these graphs on the left. All right, so we want to match these equations on the right with their appropriate graph on the left. All right, so what you want to do here is figure out what's the orientation of these. Which one of these axes is the x, or is the major? So you look for the larger denominator. Okay, that's 8. So this tells me it's under the x. So this equation, the x is the major. Okay, here, 8's the larger, so x is the major. Eight's under the y, so now y is the major. And 8 is under the y there, so the y is the major. All right, so when the y is the major, my ellipses are going to look like this. When x is the major, my ellipses are going to look like this. Okay. All right, now when we're looking at these, we can figure out what A and B are. All right, so I've gone through and I've just listed what the A square and the B squared are. And then what's the A value and the B value for each one of these. All right, now, and the other thing that's going on is you've got these slides right there and right there. So the parabola is going to slide right and left and up and down. Okay, so let's write down what the slides are. Okay, now when you're getting these, when you're reading at the equation, you got to think bizarro world. So when I see +1, or excuse me, mistake right there. Okay, so the x says +1. You'd think that's to the right, but that's actually left. So that's going to go left 1, and then the -2 on the y you'd think would go down, but that's actually going to go up. All right, the next one, you see -1 on the x, that goes to the right one. You see +2 on the y, that means down 2. Okay, next one, +1 on the x means left 1. -2 on the y means up 2. -2 on the x means right 2. And y +2 means down 2. All right, so if we take this, let's say A we know is going to look like this. Okay, so without having shifted this is our equation. That's our circle, our ellipse. And now I'm going to move it. For A, I would move it left 1. And I would move it up 2. So I know A has to go there. Okay, which means this one's got to be B because it's oriented the right direction. Okay, now if we take our next one, put it there at the center. Okay, this If we go to C now, that one went one left, one place left, and then two up. 1, 2. So that's going to give us this shape right here. One left, two up. Okay, so that's going to have to be C, forcing this one to be D. Okay. All right, and now the last one. So on here, this is your transverse. So we know that y is the transverse, and then each one of these blocks is 2. So that's the value of A. A is always on the transverse axis. So when you have a parabola that has y as the transverse, I'm sorry, when you have a hyperbola where the y is the transverse axis, the equation for it looks like this: y squared over a squared minus x squared over b squared is equal to 1. And you know that a is 4. So a squared is 16. All right, so, and the 16 has to be under the y. So it is, it can't be this one, and it can't be that one. So it's either going to be C or D. All right, now to get the other value, that's your B squared. Right, so in this problem right now, to find B, we use the Pythagorean identity for a hyperbola, which is C squared equals A squared plus B squared. C is your focal point. Your focuses are at 6, so that's 6 squared. A was 4, A squared 16, B squared. So I'm going to solve this for B. And I get B squared is 20. So out of these two, this one's got the correct B squared in it. B squared, and that one's A squared. So my choice is C.